I'm the president of the world. I'm here to rescue people and generally establish happiness all over the place. The Doctor, Dr. Funkenstein.
Yes, we know who you are.
Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog podcast, this time discussing the Zygon invasion. Not the Zygon invasion, of course, that's next week. And I've not seen part 2 yet, so it's time for me to talk about part 1. Oh yeah. Now, I'd like to read something to you, and it's a non-spoilery review that I sent to someone. My review reads, I nearly fell asleep. Halfway through, I considered doing the ironing. This is not fair as a review. For a start, I was tired. These things happen. It's best not to question them. Yes, I was a little bit sleepy. I'd been up since 4 a.m. That's an excuse. And yes, I did have a particularly large pile of ironing to do. But the second part of the review said, Osgood's lost her charm. And that is something I'm going to have to deal with in a moment. So did you like it? Did you like seeing the Zygons back again? Part of you, the old school fan part of you, was doing a little dance. They were going fantastic. We've got Zygon costumes left over from the 50th anniversary. They're going to be using them. It's great. All Zygons look roughly the same anyway, so it's going to be brilliant. But then, what do you do with them? More importantly, what do you do with them over 2 episodes? You've got the background, and yes, I know some people out there require a warning at the beginning of every episode if David Tennant is going to appear. Well, boo-hoo for them, because he did. You had 4 Doctors in this story. Admittedly, 3 of them were in the flashback, but you know what? We can all live with that, can't we? Another immediate reaction, which of course is something I'm going to have to deal with in much more depth in a few moments, was when I was watching this, I was saying, so, when they're talking about radicalisation, are they talking about Zygons or Muslims? I'm a little bit confused. And yeah, that led me to thinking about the politics of the whole piece. And again, that's something I'm going to have to go to in a minute. But at the moment, we're dealing with immediate reactions. Am I suffering from that whole teenage angst, oh, it's only part 1 of part 2, we haven't got the full story yet thing? Perhaps. These things do matter, and they do affect us all. The problem with the Zygons is they are almost a one-trick pony. Oh, what do I deal with first? Zygons or Osgood? I just don't know. Yes, you've got your Once Upon a Time, Mr. Moffat, trying to nail home the fact that, yes, we're still in fairy tale territory, despite the fact that this is the least fairy tale of most of the stories. And because a huge section of it is based on paranoia, they have to go to the home of paranoia, which is, of course, America and New Mexico, to film huge sections of this particular performance. But, no, I think the thing I'll deal with first are the Zygons. Do Zygons still require Scarazan milk? Because that is going to be a massive big problem for them. Yes, you could import a load of aliens and have them dotted around the country, but if you want to keep track of them, follow the milk floats. Unless they found a way of synthesizing it. Because let's face it, the Scarazans seen in the 70s/80s Doctor Who story, well, they were a pilot group. They were the pre-invasion force. They'd have been around for hundreds of years. And now, apparently, according to a chat on a plane, it gets revealed to us that, well, These were the old rules. Yes, because Moffat's had to upgrade the Zygons because we as Doctor Who fans went, well, the one who died had to be the Zygon Osgood because the other's Osgood, if it's still alive, obviously has to be the one with the body print. No, they've had to change the rules. They've had to change how the monsters work. And is it me, or is that just a little bit galling? Is that the sort of thing that just irritates you? Yes, we move on as a race. Yes, for example, a story set in the 80s with the human race would have people going, I'm going to use the telephone. And a story set now would have people going, I'm going to use my mobile/cellular phone. Now, that's us evolving and changing the rules. So if it happens in real life with technology and the like, why are they electrocuting people? Again, is it the same sort of thing? That's the sort of thing I need to accept happens in real life, so I should be able to accept that it happens in a narrative, because let's face it, we're not using the same social mores or anything that we were using 100 and odd years ago, and these Zygons are much later. Now, your Zygon story is basically Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And Invasion of the Body Snatchers, this is the film from the 50s, gets remade every 20 years or so. The storyline is basically they are amongst us, they want to replace us, they take our form and become like us. In the 50s, it was a metaphor for communist paranoia. In the 70s, it was almost a metaphor for feminism and the like. In the 90s remake, or was it 2000s? It was at the back end of the 90s anyway. It was a metaphor for AIDS and that sort of blood thing going on. Well, this story's the precise opposite. Yes, they're shape changes, but at its core, these, and I don't want to use the word radicalised because it'll probably flag up on somebody's list and go, oh, we can't really talk about that. But yeah, these extremist Zygons, they want the precise opposite. They don't want to use their powers to look like everyone else. They want to look like themselves. That's genius. It's the complete opposite of any sort of Zygon shape-changey story we've ever had before. What do these Zygons want? They want to be themselves. It's brilliant. And that, at its core, now that I've watched it several more times, because, I am contractually obliged to do these things by, well, you, the listener, that's what we've got. I'm very, very pleased with it. Yes, it drags a bit, and there are moments that I'm not fond of, mainly consisting of, well, units' behaviour, but that's fine. So yeah, follow the milk floats. That's where you'll know where they are, if you're looking for them. So what have you got? You've got the Osgood box. Hey kids, what's in the box? Well, there are several options. Option 1, there's nothing in the box. That's a very Matt Smith kind of a solution. Now, we don't know when the box was stolen by a man with a TARDIS, but we're guessing that it was stolen at some point. So then you've got the leaders of the Zygons, Jemima and Chloe. Yeah. So what else is in the box? Well, let me see. The options are, basically, if you come down to it, what I'd like to call the pointless solution. If the Doctor with his TARDIS manages to steal all of that Zygon biological nerve gas, I wonder where it's going to be put. Is it going to be put in the box? And has he tinkered with it? Will it lock the Zygons into the shape they currently possess, thus making them human? Oh, can we just stop, please, banging on about some sort of hybrid? It's as if he's trying to find the bad wolf of this particular season. So yeah, there is a point where Osgood breaks the fourth wall, looking straight at the camera going, remember this, it'll be important later. And you know what? The fact that people were kicking off about the Doctor breaking the fourth wall, well, I'm sure we can live with that. Truth or Dare, Zara... Now, here we are. At this point in the narrative, Clara has been replaced by a Zygon. I'm not being a spoiler, let's face it, this review isn't going out until after the episode's gone out. So, she reveals to the Doctor about going to Truth or Dare, or someone needs to go to Truth or Dare, the place, because she's remembered all of the things. Now, is this the Zygon planting misinformation, saying please go here, because it's a trap, because the Zygon knows that it's a trap? Or is it the Zygon using Clara's memories and so on, and it just gets very convoluted. And it's one of those stories where if you look at it for too long, it starts making less sense. I don't know why the Zygons suddenly change all of the human beings into a big pile of, I don't know, it looks like metal wool with electricity on it. That's new, but then again, perhaps that's the Zygon upgrade. I just don't know / get it. So yeah, a very nice start to a two-parter. And yeah, I am glad I didn't go off and do my ironing. But you know what? Deep down, I'm not completely sure that this is brilliant. Dr. Funkenstein? No. The behaviour of the unit soldiers. Now, I know that Capaldi's got a history with the actress, and, bizarrely, she was more human when she was playing an android in Humans, but I don't know. Would Benton have just gone in all guns blazes? Oh, and the slowest moving drone aeroplane in the world. We've all seen footage. We all know what they're like. But this was like, I'm going to zoom in. It wasn't even a drone. It was one of those like radio-controlled helicopters. It was moving so slow so that you could recognise the face. Perhaps it pulls out a zoom as it zooms in order to augment its targeting system. I just don't know. So with that, I'll fade away and I'll speak to you very soon, probably about Doctor Who, but remember, coming soon are the interviews from Hooverville. So until next time, be seeing you. You've been listening to the Doctor Who Tin Dog Podcast. Available on RSS, iTunes, Audioboom, Tumblr and wherever podcasts are found. Why not become a supporter of the show by visiting patreon.com/tindog. Doctor Who and its associated properties are copyright of the BBC and no infringement is intended. To contact the show, email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance. The Tin Dog Podcast would like to apologise for the sound of rain on the roof of my car as I recorded this podcast while waiting to go into work.